This is what I hate about recording sometimes. Adjusting my camera. Hello! YouTube! This is my reaction rant to an episode of a certain show that premiered around May 19. And I love this one because it left off with a bang. This is literally Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 16. And the reason why I like this one is because this is literally, Episode 16 is literally the season finale of Season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow, appropriately titled Legendary, which I think is the best title they could ever give for the Season 1 finale episode. I know we are all still heartbroken what happened on Episode 15 with Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, especially since from the beginning he always said that being a good guy, being a hero was not on his resume. And he seemed like a cold-hearted bastard that didn't give a damn about anyone. But we got more in tune with, Leonard Snart's past history with Mick Rory. And how far he'll go to protect the team. And, some nods to his love for his sister. We finally even got a love story with him and Sarah Lance, the White Canary herself. Last episode, 15, which was titled Destiny, which sucks because we finally got a kiss. They were been flirtatious with each other for the longest time. We finally get a freaking kiss. And it's pretty much first and last kiss because she kissed him while he stayed behind to pretty much sacrifice his life to not only save the team, but to give the team a fighting chance against Savage. And it just broke my heart because I loved his character development from the moment we first laid eyes on him on The Flash up until all the first season of Legend of Tomorrow. And the fact that he went from saying that he was never going to be a hero to actually sacrificing himself for the team, henceforth becoming a hero and a legend in his own right. He ended up having his own love story in a cute little weird way. It's not like a typical love story. There were a lot of flirtatious actions, especially on his end, but in the end, he got his kiss. He got his love story, but last minute because he was about to die. But anyway, let's start with this. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes in already. I'm almost 3 minutes in and I'm crying. But anyway, I did not watch it the first half because I came home late, but I was able to watch it just now today. So I most likely might have a part 2 video because I keep talking. But anyway, Rip returns to 2016 and he's telling them that they're returning home because he cannot risk any more people's lives and everything, Leonard Snart sacrificed his life and my wife and child are still ended up dead and we still don't know where Savage is now that he has his own time machine. He has Kendra and Carter. So he returns to 2016 and he pretty much tricks them all into pretty much leaving the ship and he has a hologram self. You don't even know it's a hologram until frickin' Mick pokes at it. And turns out he never left the ship at all. And he pretty much abandons them all on 2016. To be fair though, he got them around I think January of 2016, but he dropped them off for maybe May 2016 or something like that. And he's unwilling to let them continue with the mission because his family still ended up getting killed. They have no idea where Savage is and they lost one of their own who sacrificed his life. But the whole team insists, regardless on seeing it through, he still abandoned them, right? And so they somewhat go back to their normal lives in a little way. And hang on. Sorry about that. I was being summoned. But basically they all live a little bit of their lives, Stein goes to his wife. Unfortunately Sarah finds out from her father because she goes to the Arrow Cave where her father is the only one there, and she finds out what happened to Laurel, which really effing sucks. Because she goes in full denial, because keep this in mind, Laurel was the one that brought Sarah's body back to Nanda Parbat and brought her back to life. Laurel was there with Oliver and Constantine to bring Sarah's soul back. And Laurel was the one that convinced Sarah to go on the whole Rip Hunter time traveling trip. and was the one that even provided her with her new White Canary outfit. And she practically baptized Sarah to be White Canary. And to hear that she died while she was traveling time, it was just horrible. And then there was another moment where Stein, he's with his wife and he feels like he hasn't finished. He left his job undone, and incomplete. And apparently, Jax has been in contact with the wife and said that, the both of them should, continue on with this job. And there's also a moment where Mick Rory, he's pulling off a heist, and for a few moments I literally thought that it was Snart, because you actually see the cold gun get blasted. I'm like, oh my god, is Snart alive? And then it turns out just another flunky. Apparently Mick was pulling off a job and he had just a random dude, flunky, with him to pull off the job, and he let the dude use the gun, but dude screwed up. Mick punched the crap out of the guy, took the gun back, Snart's gun. He ended up in the car, and what he found out was that the person driving the car was actually Ray in a ski mask, which is like the funniest shit in the world, by the way. But they ended up talking, and Ray convinced Mick that they should try to find a way to get in contact with Rip and finish up this job with Savage. And same goes for Jax and Stein. As for Sarah, I don't know. I think her main reason for looking for Rip is maybe to go back in time and save Laurel, right? Odie, go back to your bed. Where are you going? Anyway, they all managed to get Rip back. Well, Stein and Ray made their own homemade devices to get in contact with the time ship, and Rip comes back, and they insist on seeing this mission through, right? And back with Kendra, we see Kendra actually running for her life. It looks like she managed to escape the ship somehow. I don't know how, considering that she was tied up in this material that she couldn't get out of. But she's running, and she runs into a soldier who assumes that she's running from Nazis, right? She's like, no, I'm running away from something worse. But what was really funny was she saw the dude's helmet, right? And she's like, that helmet looks familiar. And she's like, oh my god, do you have pen and paper that I could write with? And she's all writing a message, and then she's like, give me your helmet, and she sticks it in the helmet. But right when she does that and gives it back to the guy, Savage is throwing knives everywhere and unfortunately kills the poor guy with the helmet and takes Kendra back. And while they're on the Wave Rider, a few of them, I want to say Jax, Stein, Ray, and Rip noticed that the same helmet that's in Rip's little office moved in a different spot, and Rip's like, did any of you move that? And they're like, no. Oh my god, something must have happened. So he picked up the helmet, and it turns out that the little note that Kendra put shows exactly where they were in 1944 France. And like, oh my god, Kendra just sent us a message through time, right? Before that, though, there was a confrontation between Sarah and Rip where Sarah pretty much demanded to be sent back in time so she could save her sister. But unfortunately, Rip told him, she confronted Rip about it, and apparently the reason why Rip sent them back 2016 in May instead of when he took them is because apparently he knew about Laurel's death. And that's why he sent them forward in time instead of when he first picked them up, because, yeah, that happened. And there was this moment where he told her, if you did go back in time, the outcome would have still been the same. Laurel would have still died, or it could have gotten worse. It either was the same outcome or it would be a worse outcome. Like, Laurel would still be dead, or Laurel will be dead, and you and your father also would have been dead. The entire Lance clan would be, gone, with the exception of her mother. So, he managed to convince her, we can't go back in time to save Laurel. It either would have been the same result, or even worse. You and your father would have been killed too, along with your sister. But anyway, they stop at 1944 France, where, half the team, a good chunk of the team is distracting Savage and the rest of the Nazis while Firestorm finds the ship, the time ship, and manages to free Kendra and Carter, but as they're trying to escape, Kendra gets knocked the fuck out. And so they were only able to rescue Carter, right? And escape. And while that's happening, we also find out that apparently from Savage, who I think he tells Kendra and Carter that back in all the way ancient Egypt, the destruction and everything, apparently Savage reveals that the same Thanagarians that the Time Masters said were going to annihilate Earth in the future, apparently it were the same people, same alien life forms that sent 3 meteors down to ancient Egypt, which pretty much granted Kendra, Shaira, Prince Khufu, and Savage basically their immortality and their powers, right? And he's planning to use Kendra and Carter's blood to pretty much activate the alien technology in the meteors and use those to pretty much destroy time in 3 different time periods and erase time all the way back to 1700 BC, where apparently he will rule as basically God. Dr. Stein pretty much finds out what Savage's method is apparently with the 3 meteors, he at the same time he plans to get in touch with 2 past selves, like 2 versions of himself in different time periods with the meteorites, and perform at the same time a ritual across 3 different separate time periods. And when that ritual's complete and the meteors explode, all 3 of them in those different time periods, it will apparently create like a time paradox and pretty much facilitate time's destruction, which will pretty much go all the way back to 1700 BC, right? It's complicated. It was complicated in my opinion. I was like, what the fuck, right? And but Dr. Stein also found out that not only did he find out Savage's plan, he also found out that the radiation from all 3 of the meteors, even in different time periods, will render Savage mortal. So basically, Savage, with the exposure of all 3 of those meteors, he will become from immortal to mortal, and that means anyone can kill him, not just Kendra or Carter anymore. It could be anybody now, because he will be mortal. So that is a plus, and that's kind of convenient, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then they deduce, like, since it's 3 different time periods all have the meteors, they decide to break the teams into pairs. So Mick and Ray take on Mick and Ray, I don't remember where they were. Sarah and Firestorm. I know for a fact Sarah and Firestorm go to 1958. So that means Sarah, Stein, and Jax go to 1958. I want to say Mick and Ray go to 1975, maybe. But then, like, the remainder, which is Rip and Carter, go to 2021, respectively. And that's where Kendra is. Kendra is actually in 2021. And, I am slowly running out of time, so I will go for a part 2 on this one. But shit's going down. The fact that Stein was able to figure out that the radiation from the meteors, all 3 of them, will render Savage mortal and make anybody kill him now, was pretty cool. And the fact that he figured out what Savage's plan was for the meteors was pretty damn sick too. It shows what a brilliant mind Professor Stein is. It really does. There was a moment, though, I forgot to mention, there was a moment when they were trying to rescue Kendra and Carter and only able to get Carter. There was a moment where Jax actually manages to a new power where he actually turned something in, like, a solid into a liquid or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but the fact that he was able to, like, unlock a new power is pretty sick. But anyway, I'm running out of time. I'm gonna do a part 2 video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.